God, am I gray? Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday morning edition. Sorry, if that made you sick. Of the Off Base Podcast. The podcast carefully crafted to remind you of the big yawn. I don't need these right now. To suck on a fat one if you think that you are the only one, because you're not. Hangnail. I'm your host. I'm the Rocky Mountain no-name Jackass. And it's 44 degrees. See how I had to look at the thermometer there? 44 degrees in the city of Aurora at 7:53 in the a.m. on Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. Jaw time. Oh, what a beautiful morning. It's going to be in the 80s today. Crazy. All right, let's see what we got going on here, people. Huh? Okay. Holy motherfucking shit, am I hungry. I need some food, bitches. All right, I might have to put the glasses back on here. Yeah, hungry as all hell this morning, man. Holy smokes. Cannot wait to supply my body with the correct nutrition needed to lose fat. Now is about the time where I start kicking it into gear. Although the Murphs that I've been doing, they're such good resistance workouts, body weight resistance workouts, that I am afraid that I'm going to be eating more than I should. And if that's the case, I need more activity. I need to walk more, or just do more shit. Speaking of which, Mondays, which was yesterday, is not an official workout day for stepson and I. So I took my son to the gym and we played some basketball. And then they have a simulator room over there. So we went and we hit some balls off the tee. And he did a little bit of pitching as well. So we were out there for about an hour and 15 minutes. Got to move around. It was nice. Staying active, That's the key. Now, today, stepson has got a pep band thingy-majig at the local Dairy Queen. Big yawn. At the local Dairy Queen. So, that's at 6 o'clock. And what I've been trying to do is yoga on Tuesdays. So, I don't think I'm going to get there today. So, I will probably do a midday workout. Something that I've been toying with anyway, just to get a little bit more activity throughout my day, so I'm not as sedentary sitting in front of my desk. And that'll be a good thing. It just reminded me of something that happened at work before I took the kids to school. Somebody in my job who got a promotion, who, look, I understand, the job of the senior folks is to mold and shape the younger folks, because they will be the future leaders of tomorrow. I get that. But this person that's in the position of managing is, I don't think this person's doing a good job. I mean, I sent along suggestions over email of what could be done in this particular situation. And I'm not trying to name names or even outline the situation, but I sent the suggestions along, and the person responded, okay, we might do that. I'm like, you might do that? You fucking kidding me? While you're thinking about whether or not you might do that, our client is waiting, frustrated. Might do that. I wish we could slap people through computer screens sometimes. Slap some sense into them. Bunch of fucking assholes. Anyway, let me move off of that topic. Let's get back to some other shit. So yeah, we're kind of like hitting a point throughout the year that's like a grind. We got stuff coming up, for the kids' end of year. They got activities and shit. My stepson's got a banquet coming up Thursday. I think it's next Thursday. My stepdaughter's got a concert, which I would love to attend, but they're both on the same day, the banquet and the concert. So it's like, which one do you go to? Luckily, we have two parents, where one can go to one can go to the other. But we have been going to his concerts all year, so I think we might just let him go to his banquet by himself. I don't know if it's a banquet as much as it's a presentation. I don't think you need like all parents there. It'd be cool if you had one, but I'd really like to. I like going to the kids' concerts, man, because obviously I'm a musician as well. Got an associate's degree in music. Spent 18 years in community theater. And, yeah. Just trying to squeeze by this car. Sorry. Losing my train of thought there for a second. But, yeah, this time of year in May, after Mother's Day, heading into Memorial Day, it's just kind of like a grind, because you know what's coming. And what's coming is summer. Summer is coming. Ba, 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 ba. What's that from? Greece, I think? Summer is coming right now. Oh yeah, it's from Greece too. Rock-a-doodle-loo-ow. Rock-a-doodle-loo-ow. Anyway, we know what's coming, right? But there's just that 3-week stretch in there between Mother's Day and Memorial Day where you got to get through it. You got to grind through that motherfucker, right? And it's kind of like how it was last night. I kind of started like that because Sunday was Mother's Day. But yesterday, my wife, she worked very late. So after I got back from the gym with my son, I came home, made some bean and cheese tacos for the boys. My stepdaughter didn't eat. I just had some leftovers, and by the time we were done eating, it was 8 o'clock. So I was like, all right, come on, Smelly, go take your shower. Actually, my son didn't smell too bad. But he took a shower. I took a quick shower. And by the time we were done, it was 8:30. It was time to get ready for bed. He went upstairs, brushed his teeth. I made a tea. He and I worked on his divided by 5s and divided by 6s because I think his teacher wants him to get all of his multiplication and division done before the end of the year. And they got 3 weeks left, so he's getting there. And then my wife came in while we were doing the math upstairs. And she came home. She and I were getting ready for bed. Actually, I was laying in bed getting ready to fall asleep. And I started asking her a little bit about her day. And she started to tell me, and I was like, you know what? We'll talk about it later. And she was like, yeah, let's talk about it later. But it's that time where, hey, you may not have a good half hour just to sit back and chill and decompress. But, a lot of that yesterday had to do with the fact that she worked as long as she did. Like, she went in at 7, she came home at 8. It was a 13-hour day, man. And she said it wasn't, like, horrible. Like, that she was busy all day long. A couple fun things that they did. I think it was, like, Nurses Day or some shit like that. So they took ice cream around to people and shit. Something like that, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's what it's going to be like now for the next 3 weeks. Not to mention the fact that I'm getting even more excited about the workout routine, the workout regimen that I'm in. Because so far for the month of May, I have done 3 Murphs. And I'm probably going to do a half one today since I can't get the yoga in. And it's such a fucking great workout, man. I started to feel something this past Sunday when I did my 3rd one. In my upper back, I started to feel some really good strengthening going on back there. Just telling me I'm doing my pull-ups correctly. They actually seemed, believe it or not, seemed a little bit easier. So, it's pretty cool. It's coming up this weekend, Friday. I think it's Friday. No, it's Saturday. Okay, so Friday, there is a ceremony that the Air Force does every year. I think it's once a year. It's either once a year or twice a year, where they induct their new chiefs, or they pin on their new chiefs. I don't know what the fucking term is. It's a chief ceremony. And chief is the second highest rank that an enlisted officer can get. And obviously the highest rank is the Master Chief. For all you Halo fans out there, I've never played the game myself. My stepson was into it big time, but the lead character in that video game's name is Master Chief. And we went to the chief induction ceremony in Florida last year. It was fucking phenomenal. Not to mention that my wife's chief was a fucking cool dude, man. He was, well, she wasn't in command, but the chief that, you know, she worked with, Scott something or other. The dude was cool. I really liked him. He's a good guy. So yeah, they're going to be promoting some enlisted to the rank of chief on Friday. And I fucking in general just love going to the military ceremonies. All of the ritual that's involved. You know, we just went to a promotion ceremony for one of my wife's superstars, from lieutenant colonel to colonel. And this woman's, according to my wife, is a superstar. I think I just said that. I think I'm being redundant. And this ceremony was fantastic. There's all the stuff that you go through where they present the colors, they bring the colors in, do the national anthem, and there's a couple other things in there that are specific to the ritual of promoting someone. I forget what they are off the top of my head, but it's just so fun just to watch it unfurl, no pun intended. But the one for the chief induction, the one that we went to last year, it was more of it's a sit-down dinner as well as, you know, doing the induction. So when you go to promotion ceremony, it's just a promotion ceremony. There's no food. We went to dinner afterwards. We went to Maggiano's afterwards, but there's usually no food at those things. But at the chief induction last year, there was, and I think there's going to be this year. And one of the things that the Air Force does is one table is left unoccupied. And I think there's only one seat at that table. And they set it, and I think they also fill the water glasses. And there's significance behind it, but the point of the overall setting the extra table is to represent the fallen soldiers. And the way in which they describe it, I wish I could remember it off the top of my head. I can't right now. But the way in which they describe it, when they acknowledge the fact that there is the empty table there, and the places are set, the place is set, and the water is poured, it's really quite moving to listen to them go through that particular ritual. And they do the same thing again with presenting the colors, national anthem. And with the chief induction ceremony, what they'll also do is I think they'll have either 8 or 10 airmen, 4 on either side, 5 on either side, with swords. So when the chief inductees are introduced, they put their swords up, and it's like walking, you know, through the canopy there. It's really cool. It's very cool. So I can't wait for that. That's Friday. Saturday, we're volunteering for, I can't remember if it's a military organization or not, healthcare, where we're working the Colorado Rockies game, doing the concessions. And the proceeds will go towards this hospital, clinic, group, I don't know, some medical-based something or other. So we'll be at the Rockies game. My wife is going to be bored out of her ass because unlike a football game, which is done in 2.5 hours, baseball game may take 4, and if not longer if they go into extra innings. So she is going to be bored stupid, and I'm going to crack up. It's going to be funny, but I love her. And then Sunday we'll chill, try to do something with the kids. We'll see. But that's going to take us through the second week of May here. I got to make sure I continue to get the workouts in. That's going to be key. So let's turn our attention, since we're about halfway there, and I'm just rambling now, give you guys something to listen to. If you are listening to this on your morning commute, my 2 podcast listeners, thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll switch gears to the financial markets and what's going on there. It's fascinating. I told you a couple weeks ago that it finally looks like what I have been expecting, not predicting, but expecting, is finally going to come to pass, which is a much needed correction in these financial markets. And yesterday was pretty huge, because there were lows that we had established in February, and we broke through those lows yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, because last week was the Fed decision on what to do with interest rates. And I had a wonderful opportunity over the weekend to make sure that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. There was a couple that we sat with at the promotion dinner. And she was an ophthalmologist in the Air Force, and I can't remember exactly what her husband did, but they were youngish. They were like early 30s. I think mid-30s. I think she said she was 35. They have one child together, and had an opportunity to step out and enjoy the evening. And surprisingly enough, I guess I was telling a good story, because they let me go on for like a good half hour. And the story that I was telling is how we got to the place that we are right now with our economy and financial markets. And in more particularly, I focused on the currency and the currency creation by the central banks around the world. And I think they followed me as well, because I explained to them quantitative easing as simply as I could. Now, I also, for those of you who are listening, who are smart in the markets, obviously the Federal Reserve wasn't printing base currency for all of us to get our hands on that money. They're printing bank reserves that they use to buy treasury bonds and drive the interest rate down. But it just cracks me up, and that's basically what quantitative easing is. But it just cracks me up how, you lead from the top down. And it cracked me up, not in a good way, cracked me up in a bad way. You lead from the top down. And if you wonder why so many Americans are in debt, well, why don't you just look to the people who are in charge? If you have kids who are pieces of shit, well, look to their parents. If you got piece of shit parents, you have piece of shit kids. But if you wonder why so many Americans are in debt, well, just take a look at the government. That is what we have as a government. What do I want to say? Promoted ever since Bush. And God bless them, they're all just trying to do what they think is right in the short amount of time that they have. But when 2001 hit and we had the 9/11 attacks, the result of that event was President Bush coming out on TV and saying, these terrorists won't keep us down. Go out and spend money, basically, right? Go spend. Go buy shit. Well, if you don't have the means with which to buy shit, that means you have to take that money from somebody else and pay them back with interest. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called a loan. So just thinking back just on that one example, obviously there are tons. But if you're leading from the top down and you're encouraging people to spend and not save, that's going to say something about how your economy operates. Economies grow, and this I learned from Peter Schiff, economies grow through savings and investment, not spending. That's how economies grow. And when you have a Federal Reserve that is pushing interest rates down artificially, discouraging savings, how do you expect your economy to grow in a healthy fashion? Because all we have been doing is inflating the bubble, and finally that bubble is popping. It's bursting. The Nasdaq and the Russell are both down over 20% right now. As well they should, because they were the high growers, and those are the companies that you expect to grow fastest in during growth periods. And if the air starts to come out of the bubble, well, those are the ones that are going to go down the fastest, and that's what's happening. Take a look at Netflix. That stock is down like 70% from its high in a matter of months. Growth is slowing at Netflix. Facebook was the same way, or Meta, as they like to be called now. But it's just, it all comes back to, just in my humble opinion, the people who are at the top. If they are encouraging savings, then the people are going to save. If they're encouraging spending, well, then the people are going to try to get currency to spend no matter what. And the big one that's really bad right now, I mean, obviously student debt is bad, credit card debt is bad, but credit card debt is getting even worse because people are putting groceries on their credit card. And that was always a big no-no when I was growing up. You don't do that. You don't borrow money to eat, man. That's going to be rough. This stuff's going to be coming to a head. I don't want to say soon, because I've been saying soon for the longest time. But anyway, let me get scanned here, and then I'll finish this off. All right, brother.
Maybe if this how the joke works, have a good
You too. All right. And I don't really want to, bring people down who are listening to this, but it's the fact of the matter. It's the reality of things. The way our country is run doesn't make things hunky-dory for the citizens. Our purchasing power is continually being eroded. And the people who are winning are those who are in the investor class. It sucks. If you don't have investments, you're screwed. So anyway, after that reality check, anytime I talk about the economy, that's where it always brings me. It's a sobering place, but it's very good for people to know, because then they can potentially do something about it. Put people in office who have policies that are going to try to fix this shit. At some point, this country is going to be going through a period of pain so that we can right the wrongs over the past 40, 50 years, really. And we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I don't mean to close on such a sobering thought. Maybe I'll tell a joke to finish things off. Let me see if I got a good joke. Well, my favorite joke that the kids would tell when you pick them up from grade school, they love this one. I forget which one of them came up with it, but they said, "Why didn't the skeleton cross the road?" Because he didn't have the guts. I love it. All right, we'll close it there, everybody. Hope you have a great Tuesday, and I shall smell you tomorrow.